All right, let's wrap this thing up. We're at pick 10 here, but that includes Debo's Eagles. They have 3 first-round picks through some savvy deal-making. That included a Week 17 throwaway game, Doug Peterson's swan song in Philadelphia. R.I.P. Doug, just as a football coach. He's not dead. Eagles currently have the 10th pick, the 11th pick, and the 21st pick. I had them taking, we talk about this, typically focused on defense. The last 2 or 3 mock drafts come out every Monday. I've had them mixing in sprinkling a little offensive help. This week I had them taking Nakobe Dean and Andrew Booth at picks 10 and 11, and then Drake London to replace J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, the irreplaceable J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, at 21. Traps, I'll start with you. You can go any direction you want. You could even include quarterback if Jalen Hurts isn't your guy. At picks 10, they have the 2 other picks, so they could move up or down however they see fit if they fall in love with some of these players.
Jalen Hurts is not my guy, but I think Debo would probably agree with me that he has played well enough to earn another season, at least at the beginning of the year, as like the unquestioned starter. I don't think, he deserves to be in a quarterback competition next training camp. With those 3 picks, I'm going some combination of offensive line, whether that be Tyler Linderbaum or one of the tackles, edge rusher with Derek Barnett hitting free agency and Brandon Graham at his age coming off a pretty serious injury. One of the edge rushers, if they're there at 10, 11, whether that's George Karlaftis, maybe that could be kind of his floor. And then someone at linebacker. Howie Roseman has been anti-picking linebackers early. Maybe he needs to change his philosophy because I think it's growing in importance in terms of positional value, that if you have a really good coverage linebacker like Devin Lloyd is, certainly like Nakobe Dean is, that can really help your defense a lot to not be exploited by, good pass catching running backs or quality tight ends or slot receivers. So offensive line, edge rusher, and then linebacker, I think, in the first round. But if they pick someone like Drake London to add a little bit more size to the receiver room, I wouldn't hate that either.
Let me see real quick what the picks are, and then I'll get your thoughts, Josh. So we know they got 3 first-rounders, and they have the 42nd pick and then the 73rd pick. Those are their first day 1, day 2 picks. So a lot to work with. Josh, what are you thinking there with those first 3?
Well, it pains me to say I was a little outdone last week by your festivities on the podcast. So
here we go.
Brought the old tree here to join us.
Look at that. You
Since this is Debo's personal Christmas with 3 first-round picks. So
there you go.
So there's a lot of needs that this Eagles team could address. They could go cornerback, they could go safety, they could go linebacker. And we have this weekly discussion about whether Philadelphia fans are going to be happy with us if we project a linebacker to them on a weekly basis. But I think those are 3 tremendous needs. At the same time, Howie Roseman was the mentor for Joe Douglas, who obviously values offensive linemen. He values the trenches in New York. Howie Roseman has done the same. He took a left tackle in the first round when he already had a established veteran at the position. So I would not be surprised if they took another offensive lineman to shore up that group. Brandon Brooks is probably gone at some point. Lane Johnson's probably got a couple more years. You've got Landon Dickerson playing well at guard, but maybe you move him inside to center in the event that Jason Kelsey moves on. But I also think you have to consider a defensive lineman here. Like it says, Brandon Graham is a free agent. Derek Barnett is a free agent. Fletcher Cox contract kind of makes it difficult for them to move on from him this coming year, but that's going to be a very real possibility in the near future. And I know they're very set on Jalen Hurts at quarterback, but I think you would be wise to consider other options there at that position as well. So a number of different directions this team could go. It's kind of strange because they're in the playoff hunt, but it's kind of a weird team in transition because they do have this mixture of guys that they've built around moving forward, but also a healthy collection of some established veterans who are getting a little bit long in the tooth and are going to have to be addressed in the coming years.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. And as far as the Jalen Hurts situation goes, no Gardner Minshew. You can't bring his name up. He is not anything more than a backup.
Don't do it.
I have a quick question for Debo. I have a quick question. Has Howie Roseman ever spoke to why he despises taking linebackers early? Is it It's just weird because he's had different defensive coordinators that might have different needs at the linebacker spot, but Howie Roseman being there as long as he has, like, never picks linebacker early. Has he ever spoken to
No,
that?
I think it's all, I don't think directly, but positional value and how he, his philosophy. What I think you guys should start firing back at these Eagles fans is never in the Eagles history have they had 3 first-round picks. So if it's 1 first-round pick, I get the shading away from a linebacker, but they've never had 3 first-round picks. So I wouldn't hesitate to pick a linebacker at all. It's not like they just have 1 or even 2 selections. When you have 3,
Yeah.
I'm fine working a linebacker into one of those 3 spots.
I will say Eagles fans haven't said a word about the linebackers I've typically had going in with one of those first 3-round picks this year. Last year and the years before, there was a little pushback. Giants fans are the ones that are on me, mostly my coworkers, about how those top 10 picks work out for them. But that's what you do when your team's not very good and, you want to get better quickly, I suppose.